Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. If you've ever dug through your pockets or change jar, you've probably come across a bunch of those little 1-cent coins, or as most of us know them, pennies. Have you ever wondered how this small coin became so iconic? What's its story? And why, even though it seems almost insignificant today, it still holds a place in our pockets and in the world economy? In today's video, we're diving deep into the history, the value, and the circulation of the 1-cent coin, or penny. Let's get started. To understand the penny, we first need to take a step back, way back. The first 1-cent coin in the United States was introduced in 1793. Yes, it's been more than 230 years since the penny first entered circulation. Back then, it wasn't quite like the one we know today. The first US penny was made entirely of copper, weighed over 13 grams, and was much larger in size compared to today's modern penny. Designed by the US Mint, the first coin to be produced was part of the Flowing Hair series. It was designed by Robert Scott, the first chief engraver of the US Mint, and depicted a liberty head with flowing hair on one side, while the reverse featured an eagle. It was the beginning of what would become a long and fascinating journey for the penny. Fast forward to the 1909 redesign, which marked a milestone in penny history. To celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the U.S. Mint unveiled a new penny featuring Lincoln's portrait on the obverse. This iconic design, created by engraver Victor David Brenner, has been in circulation ever since, with only minor adjustments over the years. But it's not just about Lincoln's face. In 1959, to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the reverse of the penny was changed from the wheat stalks design to the Lincoln Memorial design. This particular design remained in use until 2009, when a special set of designs was released to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, including the log cabin and the 1863 Gettysburg Address designs. Through all these changes, the penny has become one of the most enduring coins in the history of American currency. It's fascinating to think that such a small coin has gone through so many transformations while staying central to the nation's currency. Now, let's talk about the value of the penny. Sure, today it's not exactly worth much. In fact, it's often seen as practically worthless, especially when you consider how much inflation has changed the purchasing power of a single penny over the years. Back in the late 1700s and early 1800s, a penny could buy you a loaf of bread or other essential items. But what happened to its value over time? To put it into perspective, $1 back in 1793 would be equivalent to about $30 today. That means, back then, a penny could go a lot further than it can now. Today, a penny doesn't buy much. It's not even enough to get you a piece of gum or a single email in the digital age. But that's not to say the penny doesn't hold its own worth. In fact, with inflation, the penny has become a symbol of the past, representing a time when small change could buy more. Yet, we still find it in circulation, serving as a reminder of how money and the economy have evolved. Here's a shocking fact. It costs the U.S. Mint about 2 cents to make a single penny. Yes, you heard that right. The cost of producing the penny has been increasing over the years due to rising prices of raw materials, particularly zinc and copper, which make up the bulk of the penny's composition. In fact, since the 1980s, the cost to produce the penny has steadily gone up. To put it simply, the U.S. Mint is losing money on every penny it produces. In fact, for every penny made, the U.S. government loses approximately 1.7 cents. So why does it keep making pennies? Well, there are a couple of reasons. First, there's tradition. Pennies have been around for centuries, and eliminating them would require significant policy changes. Second, businesses rely on pennies for precise change, particularly when dealing in cash transactions. And finally, public opinion. Many people are attached to the penny, seeing it as a symbol of the nation's heritage. Despite its low value and the fact that it costs more to produce than it's worth, the penny is still very much a part of our economy. Did you know that there are more than 150 billion pennies currently in circulation in the United States alone? That's a lot of copper and zinc. The US Mint continues to produce billions of pennies each year. In 2019, for example, around 7.3 billion pennies were struck. But in recent years, there's been a decline in the use of physical coins overall, especially with the rise of digital payments. You might even notice fewer pennies being used in your daily life, at grocery stores, vending machines, and even in your pocket. Interestingly, some countries, like Canada, have already phased out the 1-cent coin. In 2012, Canada officially stopped minting pennies, citing the high cost of production and the fact that they were rarely used. But here in the US, the penny continues to be produced, despite growing debates about its future. So, what's the future of the 1-cent coin? Will it eventually be phased out, just like in Canada? Or will it remain a piece of history for generations to come? The penny may seem insignificant, but it has a deep-rooted history and cultural significance that can't be overlooked. It's a symbol of the American currency system, a reminder of how money has evolved, and a link to our past.